Hey second graders, this week we're going to be working on writing a letter. So to start off, I've written you guys a letter and we're going to go over the different parts of a letter. Yesterday you should have started brainstorming who you might want to write a letter to and what it's going to be about. Today we're going to actually write that letter. Before we do that, I wanted to go over the 5 parts of a letter. Before we start, let's go ahead and read our letter. I'm going to read it out loud. If you want to look at the screen and read it with me, you can. So it says 4/15/20. Dear second graders, how are you? I miss seeing all of you. I hope you are staying healthy. Are you excited to start distance learning? I can't wait to teach you new things. I'll talk to you soon. Love, Miss Godley. So you probably remember from when you learned in your classrooms, there are 5 different parts to a letter. The first part is the very first thing you're going to write, and you're going to write it at the top right corner of your paper. So this is the part that I just drew an orange box around, and this part is called the date. So there are 2 different ways you can write the date. I wrote it using numbers, but you could also write it using words. So instead I would have said April 15th, 2020. So that is the first thing you need to write. After you write the date, you're going to skip to the next line. So you're not going to write it on the same line, but on the next line, you're going to write what we call our greeting. And that is this part that I just put a green box around. So your greeting always starts with the word dear. And then after that, you're going to continue with whoever you're writing the letter to. So if it's your mom, you would say dear mom. If you're writing to a friend, you would say dear and then whatever the friend's name is. If you were writing to me, it would say dear Miss Godley. After you've written your greeting, you're going to go down to the next line. You're going to skip a line again. Remember, you aren't staying on the same line for each of these sections. You start a new line. And that's where you're going to write the majority of your letter. This is the part that actually is the exciting part and gets to share whatever your ideas are. So this part, this big section of your letter that I just circled in pink, is called the body of your letter. Like I said, this is where you actually get to share your thoughts and ideas with whoever you're writing the letter to. You might want to ask them questions. You might want to tell them what's going on in your life. If it's a persuasive letter, this is where you would be sharing your opinion. If it's a thank you letter, it's where you would be thanking them for something. Whatever the purpose of your letter is, that's going to go in your body. And your body can be as long as you want it to be. It can be just a few sentences like mine, or if you have a lot to say, it can be as long as you want it to be. Once you've shared all of your ideas with the person you're writing your letter to, once again, you're going to skip a line, and this is where you are going to put your closing. This is the part of your letter that tells whoever the reader is that you are finished with your letter, that you are wrapping it up. And your closing can say a few different things. I chose love. Your closing might say from, you might say sincerely. There are a few different options that you can choose from, and it will depend on what your relationship with the person you're writing to is. If it's someone in your family or someone that you're really close to, you might choose to write love. If it's someone you don't know as well, you might not want to say love and you might want to say sincerely. So that part is up to you. And then finally, you're going to skip a line one more time, and the last part of your letter is going to be your signature. Your signature tells the person who's reading the letter who the letter is from. So that part is going to be where you write your name. And that's really important because you want to make sure that whoever you're writing your letter to knows who it's from. So there are 5 parts to a letter. As a reminder, we start with your date, you go to your greeting, then your body, your closing, and your signature. Today you're going to be writing your own letters, and I want you to make sure when you're writing that you have all 5 of these parts. And then tomorrow we'll do a little bit more work on editing and making those letters even better. I'll talk to you guys soon.